Hello everybody, it's Wyvern here with another Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer match. And this time around, it is going to be a battle against Indypride from Milk and Cookies Total War, as we'll be taking the force of the Greenskins to square off against the Barrow Legion on the Glacial Lake. Now, this was one of several friendly matches we played, and we were kind of just messing around, trying different builds, trying different bits of ridiculousness. As you can see, Grimgor has hit the field here. And for the Barrow Legion, they are definitely running a very thematic build with Krell, Uber chevroned up. For those of you who haven't noticed, the latest patch did introduce campaign-only units or certain summons as normal units for custom battles, or you can choose to have them available. And we just kind of wanted to mess around and try these units out. Obviously, it's not something that's available in quick match or tourney play, but still, it is something fun that you can mess around with. Now, Krell is a grossly underpriced baseline, which is why Indy decided to run with chevrons here to sort of even out the price a little bit. Chevrons are not cost effective, generally speaking. So that is sort of why Krell's rank 9 here. We're trying to make things a little fairer, but we'll definitely see how things play out. And if you guys are interested in more Total War Warhammer content, as well as some lore videos and some great Dawn of War videos, definitely do check out Indy's channel. I will be leaving a link down in the description as well as a pinned comment below. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the build. I'm running the Green Tide, of course. We're running Grimgor, because what a better way to meme than Grimgor. And now, in my opinion, to be quite honest, I've grown on Grimgor. Grimgor's grown on me, really. I like him a lot more than when I first started messing around with him. His stats are actually rather good. He does hit like a truck with 500 weapon strength. Unfortunately, that melee defense does let him down a little bit, but the very high melee attack, the 120 armor, relatively high HP pool, and high charge bonus do make him quite the fearsome opponent. He also does have stand your ground. We do have Wa, as well as the benefit of Gitsnik. Gitsnik being a relatively low cooldown, only 30 seconds, as long as he's in melee, up for 18. It did get reworked a little bit in the last patch when melee attack buffs were reduced. It's now only plus 24 melee attack. At the same time, it is a gross plus 50% AP damage, so that's going to be a pretty big boost. Before it was only plus 40%, so that's a buff and a nerf, a rework. Alongside him, we do have a Night Goblin Shaman who is coming in with Gorkle Fix-It as well as Itchy Nuisance. In my opinion, very strong spells in this matchup because, well, Itchy Nuisance is just always good. And Gorkle Fix-It allows you to control enemy monsters a little better, control enemy cav, prevent it from escaping. Reducing that speed by 48% can be huge. It can really keep the units pinned down where they don't want to be, especially if you stack on top like an Arachnarch Queen applying poison. We also do have an Orc Shaman, so actually doubling up on casters, and all he's brought is Fists of Gork, Evasion, as well as Power of the Wa. Now, unfortunately, Fists of Gork does have a very lengthy cooldown of 43 seconds, so while it can help me against ethereals in a pinch, at the same time, I can't sort of count on it being up all the time when I need it. So we'll certainly see how it plays out. Now, for our main line, it is a pretty narrow frontage. We've got 3 units of Black Orcs, one of them the Crimson Killers, the Elite, the Creme de la Creme Greenskin Horde, and they're going to be escorting Grimgor into the fray. Crimson Killers, really solid unit. They do hew through Graveguard very quickly, which is why I wanted them here. I wanted something to bust through through Indy's front line fast. And honestly, they're probably less effective than Black Orcs for the cost against large units. The splash just doesn't matter, and they do have lower attack speed, but is really about cleaving through the Graveguard. Fun fact, actually, Crimson Killers do lose to generic Black Orcs when generic Black Orcs are chevroned up to 9 chevrons. It actually makes that much of a difference. So, something most people don't realize. Besides that, we do have the AP Gloonies, Night Goblin Fanatics in the front line here. They do have their spin to win mechanic, of course, as well as on being unbreakable and applying poison. So even if I have one Gobbo in there providing poison support for the rest of the army, could be nice. Two nasty Skulkers in the back, providing AP support, but most importantly that snare with their smoke bombs. And we did bring them in at 9 chevrons so that they'd hopefully stick around a bit longer against the fear and terror imbued by the vampire counts. The Arachnarch Queen is towering over the rest of the army, providing her anti-large as well as poison support, and so hopefully she can help out a little bit. Of course, Spider Hatchling is not the most useful against counts because counts don't have range to shut down, but still definitely a nice unit to sort of control and restrain your opponent a little bit. Finally, 2 Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. These guys mostly just there. Had Indy brought a Mortis Engine, I wanted something to be able to pick away at it. I wasn't sure what he was going to bring, and so I wanted to be sure that I had something to counter it. Now, for Indy's build, he has, of course, brought Krell. So, Krell looking all dapper here. I absolutely love the model. It's still one of my favorite models in the game. So he's coming in alongside Kembler. Kembler can actually summon Krell, which is kind of hilarious. He's got Lord on Death. I'm not sure how that works out. Cloak of Mist and Shadows, Raised Dead, Undeath Resurgent, And then for spells, he does a Vandal's Dance Macabre, Invocation of Neck, as well as Raise Dead. So basically the usual. Chaos Tombblade will, of course, be providing additional support when he is melee. Heinrich Kemmler, not the worst melee combatant. Certainly you can put him up against some trash infantry. And as long as he's not getting surrounded, he can do some good work. He's backed by some Cairn Wraiths here, as well as a Viking with Scab's Wrath. So quite the hero mob. We will see how they square up against Grimgor's hero mob. All in all, Indy definitely has better hero quality, like combat-wise, but at the same time, Grimgor himself is probably better than any one of these guys individually. So that could definitely swing the tide in my favor if there's a hero fight. Now for his front line, Indy has gone with a mix of Graveguard as well as Skelly Warriors. Interestingly enough, the Skelly Warriors are in the center anchoring things, and where they're going to meet the full wrath of the AP Loonies, the Squig Herd, which I actually forgot to mention. I did bring a Squig Herd, I had 500 gold left over and wasn't sure what to get, so with Squig Herd, I'm like, they'll chew through Graveguard fast too. There are some Zombos in the front to soak up the charges, as well as some Skelly Spears in the back for additional anti-large and holding support. On the flanks, we do see some Black Knights on either end, as well as a single unit of bats flying over the battlefield being a nuisance. And finally, we do have a Vargulf and Terrorgeist providing anti-large, AP, and just general harassment and terror support. So lines are closing relatively quickly. It's the Squigs get a little ahead of themselves, and I didn't want them diving in just too soon, so I did pull them back. I'm going to let the AP Loonies advance first. AP Loonies just rushing in. They know no fear. These guys are true champions, of course, as we all know. And so they are going to be casting out their spinning loons. We can see them spinning around with the tied up dwarves in there and just slam into the skeletons and do quite a bit of damage in the process. The skeleton warriors before lines meet are down by about a third of their HP, and now they're going to get torn apart. Gobbo's roided up like this will actually do quite a lot of damage. 14 charge bonus, not terrible. Up to 25 kills already. In come the Squigs after that. The Grimson Gillers are not going to get much work done because they're way behind here. Now we can see a breath attack coming in from the Terrorgeist. Does a bit of damage to the Ragnarok Queen, but I was trying to keep her back, at least initially, in a supporting role. Now here I do make a bit of a misplay, because I'm going to push her forward, looking to get some damage in against potentially the Vargulf or any of these units. And that's a bit of a misplay. She gets isolated here a little bit, and she's kind of separated from the rest of the pack. And so the Vargulf is going to swing around and dive in here alongside the Terrorgeist, and she's going to take a bit of a beating. And honestly, one of the big problems with the, well, it's not a problem, but it is definitely one of the downsides here, is that the Ragnarok does not have the highest HP pool. It's only 5,700, and I have no way of healing it. So all this damage that Indy gets here, he gets it basically for free. And definitely didn't have to happen. If I'd played it safer and kept her back, it wouldn't have happened. And this could have pretty major ramifications in the long run. On the flanks, though, the Goblin Wolf Riders, I basically just threw them into skirmish mode. I'm like, screw this, I'm not microing. There's nothing to shoot with these guys specifically anyway. So just run away, do as much damage as you can, set them on skirmish mode, and they're running for dear life from the Black Knights. In the meantime, the Black Orcs, as well as the Skulkers, plow through the Zombos, and now they're going to be collapsing on the Graveguard. Over here, it's definitely going to be a little bit more of a grind. These nasty Skulkers not getting much done. I really should have pivoted them around this way. Try to sneak out, but what can you do? Black Orcs, though, will do quite a bit number on these Graveguards, so hopefully that will sort of get us some results. Now, unfortunately, Ragnarok down to 4,300 HP already, so definitely not ideal. Not where she wants to be in life, and losing 8 more HP by the second. The Orc Shaman is providing support there, and Kemmler is very angry here. 34 speed, chasing after the 35 speed Night Goblin Shaman. Not quite able to catch him, but still a threat, for sure. He does cast a summon here. Try bogging down the Skulkers and Zombos, so, not probably helping a little bit. At the same time, though, Cairn Wraith's getting annihilated as the Crimson Killers and the AP Loonies just plow through them. Terrorgeist is coming back, but unfortunately, even though I did get it down to half HP earlier, it just isn't enough, and it is still regenning. I don't really have anything to shut it down with. Another cast of the AP Loonies does plow through the spears here, doing a bit more damage. I actually used the Night Goblin Shaman's attack there, because usually charges will sort of throw your hero forward a little bit. To try to escape Kemmler, just running for dear life. This is just the most haggard chase scene ever. Kemmler pursuing the Night Goblin Shaman through ranks of Graveguard, through ranks of Black Orcs, and Skeleton Spears. Just everything is a huge mosh pit here. And honestly, things are looking pretty good. Bouncing power is swinging in my favor here, so that is definitely very nice. And the Green Tide is having a pretty good day. Spider Hatchlings do get terror routed off, kind of to be expected. The Ragnarok does plow through and punts the Vargulf away. It's definitely kind of nice, but another breath attack is going to come down from on high. About 800 damage there. And once again, we combine with that early damage, the Ragnarok Queen is now very close to the edge of death. Now, unfortunately, Night Goblin Shaman here is not able to quite get away. We do pop Wah because it finally recharged. One of the big benefits of having Grimgor is that we can pop Wah, and so almost constantly. So we get another Wah off, Now, the Spider Queen here getting isolated again, so huge misplays. I really need to keep her in the pocket of my infantry, and have just not been doing that well this game at all. Balance of power shifting slightly back in Indy's favor as he gets some free damage in on her. And in turn, though, we do counteract. We are going to hit the Terrorgeist here with an Itchy Nuisance. It is now being slowed to 25 speed with poison from the Gobos, and we are doing quite a number on it. Terrorgeist definitely not having the best day of its life. Crimson Killers in the meantime swarming all over, doing quite a bit of damage. White King is getting beaten down to 300, it was 300 weapon strength with the poison applied, of course. But he and Krell are coming in for the Night Goblin Shaman. I wasn't paying attention. I actually didn't even realize the guy died until I was looking to cast and couldn't find him. So poor Night Goblin Shaman here does get gutted and just routes from the field. Grimgor in the meantime definitely overextending here a little bit, chasing after the Vargulf when he really should have just stayed here in the fight. Probably should have kept him focused on the Terrorgeist, which was just crippled here by the Smoke Bomb. Had I been able to snipe the Terrorgeist here, that could have been a huge game changer. But I guess spoiler alert, Terrorgeist squeaking away. Even despite the harassing squigs, despite the spider on top of it, it's just able to squeak away. And that's kind of screwing us, as he managed to take back to the air, and Indy is going to be able to heal it back up. Black Knights here still on the field. They have managed to rout off the Goblin Wolf Riders, and are now going to start trying to Disbelief Cycle Charge. Black Knights did get reworked the last patch. They've got a bonus for infantry now, but reduced melee attack and weapon strength baseline. They're also more expensive, I believe. So they're going to be trying to get some cycle charges in here against the Zombos, as well as, or sorry, not against the Zombos, but past the Zombos into the Crimson Killers. Breath Attack does come in against the Nasty Skulkers, doing a good bit of damage, and that's definitely going to hurt their leadership a bit. But, you know, they stuck around better than I'd expected here, given the fact that, of course, their leadership has been buffed up to Veteran IC9, so they'll hold out a little longer. Squigs do rout, Spider Hatchlings routing, but whatever, doesn't really matter. Skulkers do rally out here on the periphery, and they are going to be coming back in. Blackrooks in the meantime did hack through the Graveguard, now tied down on Bats. Bats having very high melee defense makes it hard for Blackrooks. Blackrooks do not have good combat stats, weirdly enough. They have very good weapon strength and high HP and that sort of stuff, but their actual attack is only 36, which is kind of trash. But we are kind of doing cleanup here. Black Knights are not going to last long in this world. Getting tortured shreds by the Spiderlings, by the Crimson Killers, by the Spider, of course, and, you know, they're almost gone. Balance of Power, though, reset to about dead center. Indy has gotten some great pickups. He's chased off these Nasty Skulkers, chased off these Squigs. These Blackrooks are on the edge of death, right on the cusp there. And he's managed to pick off my Night Goblin Shaman. So all in all, those have been some very big wins for him. Grimgor is down to half health. The Spider is practically dead, and so that is all rather disastrous. Now, the Black Orcs here, having immunity psychology, hold out to the bitter end. They do not crumble, they do not flee, and they're chopping these Black Knights down to size. They do not give a crap about their bonus versus infantry. So it's definitely going rather well. Krell here does get caught out a little bit, but we're not really able to cut him down. He pops Foe Seeker and Deadly Onslaught, trying to escape there. But, of course, Indy's going to be able to get some good heals off. Terrorgeist is already back up to 2,700. We dropped him to 1,700 at one point, so with the healing, he's back up to high strength. Arachnarch there takes some meaty connections and is down to 400 HP. So, big misplay there on my part, just letting her get whittled down by the Terrorgeist. I do try to snare the Terrorgeist here, hoping to get some damage in, but in come the Bats, get that rear charge. Arachnarch does not have the best leadership, and she is going to crack. She's going to buckle. 400 HP. So definitely a sort of unfortunate situation here. The Crimson Killers are swinging back in. Black Knights are crumbling, so things definitely looking still decent. But now we are sort of a bit limited because Indy still has two very powerful monsters. He still does have Krell, granted at basically a heal cap. He does have the Viking. He does have Kemmler. We do get a nice pickup here, though. Kemmler is overextending a little bit, and he is getting surrounded by Blackrooks, and that's not where he wants to be in life. There are still a few Zombos here, but he's definitely getting chopped up a bit. And if we can get him isolated here, we're going to be able to bring him down. Unfortunately, Grimgor is also being brought down to size. He does have 47 kills, but he's down to 1,200 HP, which is definitely not great. You can see Bounce of Power now well in Indy's favor. It's probably about 60-40 at this point. Cloak of Mist and Shadows does go off, trying to keep the Sorcerer in the fray there. Orc Shaman gets terror routed, which sucks. That's one of the big problems, having my heroes punted out of formation or chased down by this very annoying Goon Squad. So the Orc Shaman definitely not having the best of times here. He is going to rally, terror is going to break, but we're not even able to get a Fist of Gork off before he routes for good. Or I believe we don't. Crimson Killers, though, are bringing this Viking down to size. The Viking is trying to flee, but it's not happening. He's down to 1,200 HP. 48 melee defense. It actually makes a bit of a difference here. He only has 48 as opposed to Krell's 52, so we're able to cut him down a bit faster. At this point, I was trying to isolate individual units, tear them apart, and move on to the next big thing. So you can see right now we are trying to kill Kemmler with Grimgor, of course, because that's what Grimgor does best. Indy was trying to get Krell out at all costs, but it was just not happening. He's not able to do it. Once Crumbling hits, of course, Kemmler is going to lose the ability to heal himself. He's going to lose the ability to cast Invocation of the Neck, and he's now in a very bad spot. Krell, in the meantime, has hit heal cap, so He's not going to get any more healing. Foe Seeker does get popped. Deadly Onslaught popped. In comes Grimgore, though. Withstand Your Ground active, trying to keep everything in the fray, but getting dive bombed by that very annoying Terrorgeist and torn to shreds. Smoke Bomb goes down in turn, just trying to keep this Terrorgeist in the fight. All of Indy's troops are basically at heal cap right now. But the problem is Grimgore is nearly dead at 500 HP. And protecting him is practically impossible. He actually takes a bit of damage, probably from Splash there, I would assume. And he does manage to squeak away just a little bit, but you know, this Geist still at 2800 HP, the Vargulf still at 3100. They're practically a heal cap, but I can't protect Grimgore right now. Grimgore is down to 500 HP, not even 400. He's getting torn to shreds. Now, Krell is getting chopped down to size. Waaagh, of course, is going to make the Blackworks a lot more effective against him, but as Waaagh peters out, we're going to be in a much worse spot, and Grimgore actually gets murdered. So there goes the greatest Blackwork with them all. Bounce power swing decisively in Indy's favor. And at this point, I'm just trying my best. I figured, you know what, it has sort of swung very much out of my favor, but maybe we can still swing it. We do still have 4,500 HP on these Blackworks. Crimson Killers have very high leadership. Immunity Psychology on both, so maybe we can swing it back. Maybe we can drag Krell down, because of course he can't kite, he can't cycle charge. Indy at this point did commit everything, just kind of leaving it in there to fight. And we kind of figured it's going to be the battle to end all battles, as Krell is getting surrounded and beaten down by this very angry horde of Blackworks. Unfortunately, though, the damage coming in is definitely heftier than the damage coming out. Most of these units have better melee defense, really, especially Krell with 52, especially with the Chevrons. So that's actually one moment where the Chevrons kind of paying off here with the 52 melee defense, making it much harder for the Blackworks to deal with him, reducing their attack a whole bunch. And so we actually do suffer army loss penalty here as one unit of Blackworks cracks, and it's shortly followed by the Crimson Killers. And that only leaves the one true brave unit of this match, the AP Cloonies, who are of course going to stick around to the bitter end. 5 models left. They're not going to be carrying in the day, but you never know. Maybe they can. Krell is crumbling, so perhaps we can get a glorious snipe on Krell. The Terrorgeist here, just picking him apart, managed to get a beautiful glory kill there on the Gobbo. Poor guy getting shaken around, torn to shreds, actually getting detached from the Terrorgeist's mouth. That's how potent its fangs are, apparently. And now the Vargulf is coming in against the last survivor of the AP Cloonies. 3 HP against Krell's 134. It's definitely going to be the battle to end all battles, as the AP Cloonies, the hero of the Goblin people, is charging in to meet the Lord of Undeath here. And in comes the Chaos Champion. Great axe raised, and definitely a bit of an epic showdown. So you can see him closing the gap, crumbling every second. Obviously, would be a bit of hilarity, except in he goes, axe swinging, and it just completely demolishes the poor goblin, severing his arm, and that is going to seal the deal for the Green Tide. And a very well played to Indy. Definitely a very fun match there. He's still there a little bit. He doesn't want to die yet. He doesn't want to give up, but match is called. Krell surviving on a glorious 71 HP. Now, a valiant defeat for the Green Tide. It was definitely a very tight match, and I think there were some clear misplays that cost me the game. Now, obviously, this is a semi-difficult matchup for the Greenskins. It's definitely not the worst. As more of an excuse than anything. I definitely just had some bad plays. Getting Grimgore and my hero squads repeatedly separated was huge. That gave Indy several relatively easy pickups that kind of screwed me. Having a bit of magic in the end could have been huge. Having Fists of Gork to help keep Grimgore alive, or to help Grimgore or the Blackworks snipe out Krell, could have been a massive boon. Having another Itchy Nuisance or Gorkle Fix-It could have been huge. Having the Spider Queen around longer. I lost about 2,000 HP on her early on when I really didn't have to. Granted, there was a breath attack in there, but still. Really having her, 1,500 HP more, had I not sort of kamikazed her into the Geist and the Vargulf, would have been a massive boon. Blackworks performed well. The Nasty Skulkers did well, but I could have definitely microed them and positioned them better to end some snares. Goblin Wolf Riders got basically nothing done, but that was to be expected. It was just, given the situation, I didn't feel I could micro them effectively enough. I felt I had to micro my heroes around more. And I kind of just ditched them and let them die. 1 kill apiece is nothing to write home about, but what can you do? The AP Cloonies, of course, performed admirably. 152 kills. Obviously, a lot of those against skeletons and zombies, so not the most valuable units, but still nice. And yeah, it came right down to the wire. I think had I been smarter with my hero play, had I been smarter with the Arachnarch, really, this match could have swung relatively easily in my favor. Now, in Indy's case, obviously Krell is probably overtuned for the cost. He's not really meant for multiplayer play, but it was very cool to see him actually striding the battlefield. I kind of hope that they actually make him. It would be cool if they would actually make Krell just a legendary hero instead of the summon for Kemmler. So he has definitely been headed in that direction with more and more legendary heroes lately. So I would definitely like to see that for Krell. Just unique faction-based hero. Like, even instead of, if he was unique, sort of like Henry Massif or the Anger and the Ghost Boys, if Krell was unique to the Barrow Legion, I think that would be awesome. I think it would be really cool to see. He's honestly a cool character and a pretty awesome combatant, and just a lot of fun to play against. The White King didn't get the hugest values. Neither Heinrich, of course, got value out of his heals and out of the support he provided. But he himself kind of got wrecked. He got torn apart, as we saw by Grimgor. That was another factor that could have, once again, that was another impact that could have swung maybe the battle more decisively in Indy's way than it went. Had Kemmler stayed alive, that could have been a huge game changer there. The Vargulf, as well as the Terrorgeist, were really the MVPs for Indy. The Black Knights, yeah, they keep in mind a lot of these kills were like nasty Skulkers and Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, so not necessarily the highest value. The Black Orcs kind of just tore through the infantry line and everything before it. It was really the Vargulf and the Terrorgeist that carried the day. Their breath attacks annihilating many of my infantry formations. The attack, they sniped out my lords and heroes, and that really kind of swung the tide. 3 chevrons apiece is no laughing matter, and really shows how well they performed in this match. But definitely a very fun game, very close game. It was cool to see Krell actually striding the battlefield and not be a short-term summon. That's always kind of one of those crappy things about him, just that he's such a short-term summon. Besides that, it was a fun game. Very well played to Indy. Definitely just was a good one, in my opinion. If you guys would like to check out his channel or haven't already, would be a bit surprising, but definitely do check it out. Some great Total War Warhammer content. He's got some great lore content for just Warhammer, or Warhammer 40k in general, some Dawn of War content. So a whole slew of different things related to Warhammer. Definitely well worth checking out. I'll be leaving a link down in the description and the top comment below. If you have any questions, requests, commentary, as always, leave it down in the comments below. I will do my best to respond as soon as I can. I do thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.